Hello, I'm Askar Sherlief and you're watching the news from Kazakhstan. Real estate of Timur Kulibayev, the son-in-law of Kazakh president, is once again in the spotlight of European press. This time British. The Sunday Times published some details of a secret deal struck in 2007 between the powerful official and Prince Andrew. In order to please His Highness, Timur Kulibayev overpaid £3 million over the asking price for an old Sanning Hill Park manor. This despite the fact that there were no other bidders for the estate.
The £50 million estate is affordable exclusively to billionaires or members of the royal family. Thus, the generosity of Timur Kulibayev raises a number of questions from the Western mass media. The Sunday Times wonders whether it is an attempt to buy friendship of the Queen's son or the easiest way to invest profits made from dealing with Kazakhstan resources.
Timur Kulibayev, the billionaire, son-in-law of the Kazakh president, admitted this weekend that he bought the former home of the Duke and Duchess of York in 2007 for £15 million, paying at least £3 million above the asking price, even though there were no other bidders. He made the admission after 3 years in which the deal was shrouded in secrecy, only after being confronted by the Sunday Times with the names of the companies in the British Virgin Islands that he had used to hide his identity.
One of the leading British publications is untangling a web of offshore companies through which the transaction was made by Timur Kulibayev as the main buyer. Moreover, the documents in the possession of reporters prove that Sanning Hill Park was not the only acquisition of the president's son-in-law. Apparently, Kulibayev spent £44.4 million to buy 4 more mansions around London. While Western media rigorously discusses purchases of the Kazakh billionaire and the possible ways a government official can obtain such amounts of money, Kazakh authorities taboo the topic. Newspapers Respublika, Golos Respubliki, Vzгляд and Kursiv had to defend their rights for the freedom of speech in local courts. It seemed that the authorities do not want to disclose sources for the financing of royal purchases of the Kazakh president's close relatives. It is worth mentioning that 2 weeks ago the public discontent was provoked by Dinara Kulibayev's purchase of an enormous Swiss villa for $74 million.
Members of the president's family were in the center of attention on the east of the country as well, as some of the local residents celebrated the birthday of the First Lady. Even though Sara Nazarbayeva is no longer a very public person, education officials still treat her as such. That is why pupils have to write compositions about Nazarbayeva from time to time, while curriculums will soon include exotic courses she used to like.
Although Sara Nazarbayeva was not present during the event, the birthday of the Kazakh mother, as she was nicknamed on the stage, was celebrated in Pavlodar, with many declaring their love to her.
The time will pass and I will become a senior just like you will, believe me. And so we open the doors for love and happiness to our grandchildren, just like Mother Sara.
Officials say that they celebrate the birthday every year. This time the scope of the ceremony was smaller than before, as sponsors allocated less money. Representatives of Pavlodar city administration do not know whether Nazarbayeva knows about the celebrations. They said that no one was planning on inviting the First Lady, but promised to inform her about it. We will make a video and definitely send it to Sara Nazarbayeva to show how Pavlodar residents celebrating her birthday. Officials know that birthday greetings and declaration of love to the motherland and president's wife are now part of the school program. The event was held as part of the self-discovery school course, which will become obligatory starting new academic year. At the same time, officials cannot say how much money the state will spend for these love lessons.
Meanwhile, ordinary citizens of the country have other things to worry about besides presidential birthdays and manor purchases. The raise of tariffs for public utilities in Kokshetau, a town 300 kilometers from the capital, has forced several hundred people to hold a rally in the dilapidated park.
More than 300 people participated in the rally in Kokshetau, the administrative center of Akmola region. They were protesting against the raise of rates despite the severe cold and the remoteness of the area allocated by local authorities for the rally.
We demand to lower rates and cancel the resolution of the city administration to allow holding peaceful rallies only beyond the town boundaries. There is plenty of suitable places inside the town. I do not understand why the authorities would be afraid of its people.
Kokshetau residents were allowed to rally for only 1 hour, which was assured by the presence of local policemen who monitored the event, but still failed to prevent several minor incidents.
Get him out, he's a provocateur. Can people express their opinions?
The raise of utilities rates in Kokshetau affected small businesses the most, more than doubling their expenses. In 2009, a heating bill for a 3-room apartment room made as a cafe was only $50. Now it is more than $130. The prices will take away everything we have right now. The possibility to live independently without bothering the authorities and asking for charity, as some people do, and without asking the social assistance. We just want to be worthy citizens of Kazakhstan. Representatives of energy supply companies were also present at the rally, although unofficially fearing people's rage. They, however, still had to answer the main question negatively. Unfortunately, there will be no decrease of the rates. The rates are not raised by chance, we are sustaining losses. If the authorities will not listen to complaints of Kokshetau residents, the latter are threatening to protect their rights with new strikes as well as blocking central streets.
Employees of the corporation Kuwait have to fight for their hard-earned money as they were deceived once again. At the end of the last year, the company's management has promised to repay the salary debt by February. Alas, this didn't happen. Find out why from the next report.
Employees of construction company Kazakhstan Service are demanding justice from their employer. About 100 people came to Almaty City Hall when they found out that they will not receive their salaries on February 15th. This is only a tenth of all those owed money by the company. People were allowed to enter the City Hall, but a police wagon appeared immediately nearby. Luckily, there were no incidents.
We came today to clarify the situation. We will close all debts by March 31st. We no longer believe you.
The company debt stands at more than $500,000. The developers are blaming the state officials for they owe more than $50 million to the corporation for the luxurious House of Ministries in the capital and the eastern part of Ring Road in Almaty. Nevertheless, the deputy mayor Viktor Dolzhenkov says the city has no debts to the company.
The contract never specified any money to be paid out. There was an agreement allowing works and demolition of facilities if you transfer the completed objects to us. You did obtain both lower and upper areas of the brewery, so the deal is done. If you think that the state owes you, file a suit and recover the debt.
The board chairman of Kazakhstan Service listened to the deputy mayor without saying a word, while construction workers said they no longer trust either of the sides. Maybe there is indeed some money and reserves, but they do not want to show that they have it. The company does have an arrested account with $1 million. The city administration has asked Almaty prosecutor to lift the arrest. At the moment, the lawyers are busy preparing all the necessary documents. However, that will not be enough to completely cover the debt. At the same time, businessmen are not planning to auctioning their property off as advised by officials.
Employees of another company, Almaty's Zelenstroy, have not received their salaries for 3 months as well. This organization primarily serves the metropolis, and the lion's share of its income goes to the city budget.
Every week they say Monday, but they never specify the exact date. More than half of the entire staff was forced to take non-paid leaves, but even those employees who remained are still waiting for their salaries. The administration of Zelenstroy says that the state owes it $936,000 for city beautification works, which led to a $500,000 debt to the employees of the organization.